You are a chav, meaning you are violent, antisocial, uncultured. You're probably from the north of England, but most definitely working class. You grew up in a bedroom covered in mould, on streets littered with graffiti, decorated with older friends who deal drugs to adults you occasionally see at the pub. But you're actually quite hard to define. The common backronym for chav is council house and violence, but Urban Dictionary defines you in 368 different ways. All chavs are filth. Chavs are the cancer of the United Kingdom. Filthy, disgusting, dirty, loud, ugly, stupid assholes that threaten, fight, cause trouble, impregnate 14-year-olds, ask for money, ask for fags, steal your phones, wear crap sportswear, drink cheap cider, and generally spread their hate. A social underclass par excellence. The absolute dregs of modern civilization. The only good chav is a dead one. The only thing better than that is a mass grave full of dead chavs and a 24-hour work crew making way for more. The disgust for the chav is a disgust for the working class, a repulsion from southern sycophants more reminiscent of feudalism than of a modern attitude. You would be forgiven from not guessing it from my accent, but I am proudly from the north of England. Proudly working class. Representation in television and advertising has been sparse, and even still, the representation that does exist of northern working class people has been mostly offensive, falling back to this chav archetype hyperbolized to mockery. The representation of northern working class women is even worse. The inclusion, absence, and representation of both gender and class in advertising all work together to inform people of not just a product's target demographic, but also provides insight to the political zeitgeist and typically reinforces heteronormativity. An easy example of this is the old Yorkie chocolate ads that ran from the late 70s to the 2010s. These ads would show the chocolate being consumed exclusively by working-class northern men, which not only became the target demographic, eventually becoming a slogan for the brand, but also reinforced this idea of an exclusive club of working-class masculinity. You are a man, you drive trucks, you like boobs, and you eat chocolate. In direct comparison, you have the old flake adverts, a chocolate for the upper-class women of society who are as delicate and soft as a flaky chocolate. But, ooh, it's so sensual, so romantic. Now this is a chocolate for women, advertised in a way that was kind of controversially sexy at the time. And that's not me being a pervert. There were specific ways the actresses in these ads were told to hold and eat the chocolate in order for it to be both feminine and appealing. When I was 16, I saw this festive advert starring two sentient carrots, and I remember turning to my mum and asking, why does one of the carrots need eyelashes and lipstick and a pink bow? What's the implicit message here? Why, I asked my mum, are we insisting that a carrot is heterosexual? Both that night and to this day, I'm left out of a conversation about it. Apparently, I overthink things. Chocolate and carrots aside, I wanted to talk about other adverts I've seen lately that fall into the same category of strange, but I think are far more sinister. Beauty Bay, for example, is a Manchester-based cosmetic brand that launched in 1999. Originally known for their fragrances, they rebranded in 2007 to help customers feel and find their authentic self. Right. Well, I'm not particularly well versed with makeup or cosmetic brands in the slightest, but according to online reviews, Beauty Bay is a fairly respected brand. Affordable products, decent skincare, glossy gloss, everything you could wish for. Earlier this year, Beauty Bay released a series of Black Friday ads in collaboration with basically Becky Joe 19. And before I go on, I'll just show you the first ad I saw of this collaboration.
Right, it's my first day, stop mithering me. I'm Becky Joe 19, the UK's queen and icon. I have been booked to help out for the Black Friday. I would give you my job title, but I do a bit of everything. What are you looking at?
Holy, I almost don't know where to begin. As you can imagine, every single video is just plagued with classist misogyny. I know it's uncouth to explain a comedian's joke, but since the majority of my audience are from America, there's probably some cultural translating needed here. The jokes are subtle, see if you can spot them. This one's a joke about working class northern women doing drugs.
I like me makeup, I'm into me clothes, I'm into me hair.
This one's a joke about working class northern women being unintelligent.
Results come back today, they phoned me and they tested positive for being a slag.
This one's a joke about, you get the point. I'll admit, making fun of your predominantly female northern consumer base is a bold strategy I almost respect it. The mind behind this Becky Joe character is Manchester-based hairstylist Paul. The earliest post I could be bothered to find of this character dates back to early 2023, so seemingly this bit has been going on for just way too long, but frankly, I don't want to talk about Paul. Like, no offense to this man, I do not know this individual, but the thought of dedicating a YouTube video to one man, oh my god, chills. Oh my god, that's... Not only is that boring to watch, that would have been very boring to make. I respect that some people really love drama content and deep dives into someone's entire career, but if I was on YouTube.com, on Megan Thee Stallion's internet, and I saw even a 10-minute video about me, haunting. That would be chilling. So, this is not about the individual, but this collaboration he did with Beauty Bay did unravel for me the fact that this classist misogyny in advertising, British advertising specifically, is a very uncomfortable trend that kind of dates back decades. The earliest example I remember hearing about, although it was a little before my time, it's Little Britain.
Skate Vicky through the park and collect as many CDs as you can. Vicky's having a party and she needs CDs to decorate her wondrous flat. Do tricks for extra points, but not if you don't want to. Skate hard and keep it real.
Created by White Devil David Walliams and star of Romeo and Juliet Matt Lucas, Little Britain is a sketch show mockumentary that's a parody guide to British society. An equivalent to this would be Who is America by Sacha Baron Cohen, but fuck that Zionist. Little Britain revolves around a cast of recurring characters that represent different aspects of British life. When it comes to this comedy duo, they obviously don't limit themselves to just one avenue of offensive caricature. Even Americans aren't safe.
And thought I heard a mouse, but then I realized a puppet lives in my house. A puppet lives in my house.
The Cosby Show was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
The boss is coming round for dinner tonight, and I desperately need that promotion. I do hope that pesky puppet doesn't mess things up for me.
Oh, wish somebody you were. Hold on, there's a jerk.
No!
You!
But for the purposes of this video, I'm only talking about one type of recurring character the two like to revisit throughout their shows. Yes, you heard me. Multiple shows. They got more than one.
New but, year but, new but, yeah but, new but, yeah but, new because I'm not even going on the pill because Nadine reckons they stopped me from getting pregnant.
Listen, I don't want to be a spoil sport for a gag 20 years in the running, but purely from a comedic perspective, there's only so many ways to do this mockable chav character, and I think we've done it. I think the bit is dead. We can abandon it. We're done with this joke. The more observant among you will have noticed a trend here. Maybe if I was more generous I'd call it a coincidence, but hey, Why drag? Strictly speaking, there are mockable chav characters played by women in British television, like Catherine Tate for example, but it does seem more often than not that these characters are written by or performed by southern middle-class men. Now obviously there's nothing wrong with drag. Since we're talking about a history of gender here, how could I not mention pantomimes? A fairy tale retold featuring a pantomime dame, a form of drag that dates back to 1806, but this, classism, is not cultural, nor artistic. After 20 years, it's certainly not creative, it's just punching down on chavs who we're told should be mocked by big brands and London-based executives.
Forget about the country's decline in values while you watch Brand New Reaper. Feast on your dwindling food supplies while you enjoy Skin Series 2.
The biggest ambassador of the mockable chav to date, however, is of course Jeremy Kyle. For my Americans at home, think British Jerry Springer, or British The Jeremy Kyle Show parentheses American talk show. And when I make that comparison between Kyle and Springer, the format of both shows is pretty much identical. A confrontational tabloid talk show that interviews guests on their interpersonal drama, provides an audience to jeer at them, and then we find out who the father is, or who stole the money, or who cheated. It's the kind of show that comes on the first time you lie to your parents about being too sick to go to school, before realizing TV isn't all just reruns of old Pokemon and Dinosaur King episodes. Jeremy Kyle used his platform on the show to preach traditional family values, hard work, and higher education to guests that were genuinely struggling. I know it's hard to empathise with some of these characters, especially some of the more aggressive guests, but it's harder to look past the fact that many of these, again typically working class northerners, are in some form of crisis.
Charlotte?
Yep.
I'd be enjoying this, I wouldn't be running, sweetheart.
Enjoying that I've just been humiliated on national television.
I think you haven't.
Meanwhile, Kyle is the son of the Queen's personal secretary. His biggest crisis is whether or not he should run as a far-right politician. A former producer of The Jeremy Kyle Show once commented, if they truly screened for mental health issues, there would be no one on that show. It was a televised blood sport. There was a real deceptive veneer of support and guidance, but this was just another form of mocking working-class northerners. They wrangled up the most down-on-their-luck people from Manchester, thrust them under spotlights, and poked at them until they cried. And then, when they yelled or fought, the titular southerner Jeremy Kyle could swoop in and point at the clown show behind him and say, "This is what they're like, folks. The subhuman chav." On a different note, the polygraph tests were always the most laughable. As a kid, I didn't know how reliable they were at detecting a lie, but later on at university, I took a couple of workshop lectures about polygraph machines, how to use them properly, how to read the data, and let me tell you folks, those devices are not only unreliable, I think they're of the devil. I got to try my luck being interviewed while strapped down to one, and that piece of shit console couldn't register a single lie I told. Maybe it's down to shows like this that the general public believes that polygraphs are some sort of divine soothsayer, but just for the record, it's all complete pseudoscience. Now obviously these shows debuted first on our timeline of mainstream anti-chav rhetoric, but only emboldened advertisers to join in on the mockery later while finding a way to still sell a product.
Down they go, goodbye. And this filth bag needs sorting out. Look at him. Oh, no, it's all right. There's always some collateral. No, down you go, my orange friend. Bang, bang, dead. They're not quite dead, tranquilised. The coast is clear, Dan. You can enjoy a chav-free Cheltenham, courtesy of Paddy Power, the classy mobile app for civilised people and the Irish. We hear you.
Hey, Irish gambling company. Weird distinction. Especially for a place that allows bets on the assassination of Obama and the outcome of a real murder case. It's not just the slogan. The text of the ad is to tranquilize chavs so that you, a proper, respectable individual, can get on with gambling in peace. Reframing sports betting as some elitist upper-class hobby instead of a predatory profit scam is... Okay, well, it's genius, but it's weird. It's weird. But if tranquilizing the working class isn't enough for you, just fucking beat their ass. Yeah, get him! Fucking kill him! Yeah, get him! Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh my god, that guy's... You killed him! He's gone, he's in heaven now, I think. Oh, wait, it's an ad. It's an ad. I forgot. I thought I was a witness. Yes, in 2009, London-based gym Gymbox was advertising classes based entirely on the premise of fighting chavs. And I'm telling you, nothing impresses me more than if my date pummels the ever-living fuck out of a guy. Just absolutely kills a man. I want my date to kill a man. If you're wondering what their defense for this ad was after the backlash, a spokesperson said, "It's not offensive to anyone in particular, because nobody in society would admit to being a chav. It was not a group to which people wanted to belong." No shit! You're training Southerners to kill them! And if you're as curious as I was to see how the same gym advertises now... K-pop! Yes! Yes! Oh my god, Korean! Sarangae BTS! This is awesome! Yes, dude! Yes! The slogan for the K-pop dance class, by the way, is "Wanna know your BTS from your Blackpink? Hey, I'll save you the £105 membership fee. BTS is the one that's 7 guys, and Blackpink is the one that's 4 women. Glad I could help. It's actually wild, not just seeing how quickly the culture turns, but also how fickle some companies are. Oh, what's that? The chav fighting ad and bitch boxing leaflet got us in trouble with the Advertising Standards Authority. Quick! Be Korean! If our aegyo is good enough, the people will forget! And in fact, people do forget. Or more worryingly, don't care. This anti-chav rhetoric has maintained its place in mainstream opinion in the years since, and will continue to do so years from now. It's intentionally predatory, joining in on the punching down, maybe even swaying consumers to do the same, in order to gain endorsement for the social and economic inequality coming from government policy and legislation. I mean, if you can successfully turn an entire population against people who rely on government benefits by perpetuating the idea that they're lazy, violent others that have cheated the system, then you also have a population that would willingly approve cuts to said benefits, or approve an increase in police activity or violence. I've done a lot of travelling this year. Like, a lot of travelling. And as incredible as these memories have been, my adventures have also made me realise something I never quite understood before. I love this country. Not in a nationalist spray-painting the St. George's Cross on a roundabout kind of way, that kind of fake patriotism used to pass off blatant xenophobia and anti-immigrant extremism, but in a way that's earnestly hopeful. Only in going abroad did I realise how protective I am of this country, how defensive I am of the North. I suppose that's why I'm baffled by the Beauty Bay collaboration more than anything. It's deplorable in a way that could only be achieved through genuine self-hatred, a kind of exploitative betrayal. Jeremy Kyle, Little Britain, and the countless degrading portrayals of the North and its population are typically manufactured by media producers from the South. Over the years, I had grown desensitized to this punching down before I could even recognize it, but to see it from a northern-based company was completely disheartening. There have been whispers of upset on different subreddits, but for all intents and purposes, this collaboration was a successful one. People love this character, just as people have loved similar characters for decades. The mockable chav has been so ingrained in our media that it's hard not to laugh at her. were encouraged to laugh, to mock and berate. It's not just a successful campaign, but a successful tool to prime an audience to laugh at similar figures in daily life. Becky Joe is a character, but Becky down the street, who does suffer with addiction, is a single mother, and failed in her education, isn't. So you laugh. And then you turn on the TV and watch Jeremy Kyle, and you laugh. And then your friend references that one character from Little Britain, and you laugh. And then you turn on the news and see shoplifting is at an all-time high. Well, it could only be those benefit-cheating chavs, stealing money from the government with their 5 kids, dealing drugs by the park, and making your streets filthy. And suddenly you're not laughing anymore. You're angry. Because all chavs are filth. The cancer of the United Kingdom. They're just filthy, disgusting, dirty, loud, ugly, stupid assholes that threaten, fight, cause trouble, impregnate 14-year-olds, ask for money, ask for fags, steal your phones, wear crap sportswear, drink cheap cider, and generally spread their hate. Chavs are a social underclass par excellence. The absolute dregs of modern civilization. The only good chav is a dead one. The only thing better than that is a mass grave full of dead chavs and a 24-hour work crew making way for more.